Right.
Those who'd like to join me in the pledge of allegiance, feel free to do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Kim, I'll call the meeting to order. Would you like to call the roll?
Anderson. Alderman Williams. Present. Alderman Hill. Alderman King.
Present.
Alderman Lancaster. Present. Alderman Matheson. Present. And Alderman Wilson.
Alright, was there anything on the agenda?
We're gonna
Items to be removed?
Yeah, we're gonna make one small adjustment. We're going to remove item 8A. We're gonna rewrite that to apply to section 127, so it applies to all boards and committees instead of just the planning and zoning. But we'll still go ahead and do the hearing tonight.
A Bravo gonna stay on there?
A Bravo will stay, yes.
That's it?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as changed.
Well, that's the regular
Or
agenda.
the regular agenda, sorry.
Second. What's the second one?
Casey.
Okay, so Alderman King, or Alderman Williams? Yes. Alderman King?
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster? Yes. Alderman Matheson? Yes. Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alright, anything, any questions on the consent agenda by anyone? Now you're Dave.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Alderman Williams? Alderman King?
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster? Yes. Alderman Matheson?
Yes. Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alright. Item number 4, citizen input. Is there anybody that would like to step forward and give us your opinion, your prognostications, your
Larry.
ideas?
I have nothing this week, sorry.
Well, that's not very constructive, Larry.
I keep threatening to, Larry.
Mike does show up as a citizen every once in a while. He puts a citizen ad on. All right, that means seeing no one, I'll close that section. Item 5, project manager report.
Well, on the 94 force main upgrade, Young's General Contractor has installed about 800 feet of 18-inch high-tension polyethylene pipe along the north end of Old Willard Road. They're making some equipment adjustments to aid in the fusing and feeding into the ditch and eliminating or at least greatly reducing the chance of pipe damage when they handle it. So, Auger Martin inspectors on top of it, Sam and Trevor on top of it. So it's been babysat rather well.
Good.
On financing for that project, Young's has submitted their first partial pay request for about $951,000. We're currently processing that. And on the abatement order on consent with Department of Natural Resources, we submitted the city's executed copy and have not had a reply at this time. I'll probably ring their bell this week and see where they stand. On the Meadows trunk sewer, J.D. Wallace has installed about 1,000 foot of a 15-inch gravity main. They should have Farm Road 106 open for east-west traffic here shortly, if not presently. And that should remain open until we get down to Farm Road 101,
Hey, Steve.
where we have to tie in to the existing gravity system. We'll have to block that off when that time comes, but they've got 3/4 of a mile of pipe to lay before they get there. Financing on that one, Wallace has submitted their first partial pay request for the amount of $402,000. We're currently processing that request. On combined financing, we've been working with Piper Sanders to secure certificates of participation, the long-term finance for the city's obligations, wrote the 94 lift station upgrade, quarter main replacement, and the metals regionalization trunk sewer projects. Got an ordinance on the agenda later in this meeting to address that financing. So if anybody's got any questions, be glad to try to answer.
Refresh my memory, I think Wes, or you said we're gonna start the Meadows Tower in like June? Is that
The
what I heard?
equipment's rent, we haven't got any confirmation from Viking yet. That's when it's planned for, and we've rented the equipment necessary to run the well out there, so we're assuming we're about as confirmed as we can.
Good, good,
Yeah, as soon as it's definitely written in stone, we will let the public know.
good, perfect.
Hey, Mayor, if I may on this, on the Meadows connection, to Springfield, the city is looking at manhole 8 extending a trunk sewer south to the 40 acres on the Flynn property right there. I've been in contact with Mr. Flynn. He owns 140 acres between 106 and Double E, and we're anticipating a voluntary annexation on that. Steve probably wasn't aware of this tap going back across. 106 may be shut down a little bit sooner before we hit 101. We just have to confirm with our engineer the size of pipe that we're gonna bring across, because we're gonna be eliminating one of our pump stations by doing this. So, it should be less maintenance for the city and increase our capacity down south also, so.
That'll, if Wallace does it, that'll involve a change order
Yeah.
to Wallace's contract.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
And funding outside of our normal funding for that.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea on cost?
I don't, but it's gonna be cheaper for JD Wallace to do it than for us to, they're already mobilized, they're already there. So, we can get an estimated cost before the board when we get close. But, I need to talk to the engineer about the pipe size going across.
Compared to the
So we're not doing it twice.
interruption and the effort that would be necessary to put it in later, it is better just.
Do it while we're there?
Yeah.
Did George Patton say that about the meeting? That's not, we're on the war trivia tonight.
Man, you are.
We are.
Really?
We're on my trivia section, my brain's really good one, I guess. All right, any questions for Steve from anyone? Anything else, Steve? Anything else, that good?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I'll open up the section for a public hearing for an ordinance amending section 400.405, the administrative subdivision to the municipal code of the city of Lord, Missouri.
We've got some contingency. That's Mike.
I'll let Mike speak to this one. This was born out of the P&Z meetings, but just as a reminder, after talking to Anna, we're gonna close this agenda, or the ordinance piece of the agenda out, and we'll reopen that at a future meeting to discuss it under section 127, so it's more of a broad application.
Okay.
And with that, I'll let Mike jump in on the
Thank you,
on the
sir.
history of it.
Sorry, I'm just trying
It's
to
okay.
play behind the scenes also. So what this is we have a bit of confusion of the formats. We're going to be revising the format on how stuff comes to the Board of Aldermen with a formal resolution from the Planning Commission on any ordinance, any changes to the code. So we did that on this one. It didn't quite work out, so we'll dot our i's and cross our t's and bring it back next meeting for you. But what this is an administrative subdivision ordinance. And basically what it does is for the simpler things, lot splits, lot line adjustments, some replats to existing subdivisions, it allows myself in conjunction with our legal team to approve these without coming before the boards. So if a farmer's got 100 acres and he wants to split that up, we're not gonna burden the boards with something like that. That can be an administrative decision. This puts us in line with all the surrounding cities. In Southwest Missouri, they all have an administrative subdivision. The thing is with an administrative subdivision, when Troy has his 1,000 acres and he wants to divide it up, they can only do that once. So it goes with the land, so if they want to do an administrative subdivision and divide that up into five parcels, there's as many as you can do without going through the platting process. they can do that. But the next time he wants to divide, it's gonna have to go through the established process, through the boards for approval, so.
So it's a one-time deal.
One-time deal, yep. So that's basically what it is. It's just taking some of the heavy lifting on some of the easier items. Lot splits, lot line adjustments, different things like that. Makes them administrative with legal approval. Questions?
All right, we move to 6B, then a public hearing notice to adopt 400.165, the Code of Ethics for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
And that's the piece I was kind of referencing and what should.
We'll come back later.
Since we're not doing chapter 400, the hearing isn't
We'll
necessary.
just worry. All right. In that case, I'll close the hearing.
Did you want me to address that before just
Do you want
talk
to
about?
wait? I mean, it's up to you guys. You can either wait when
Why
we
why
do
don't
it
you just
or.
wait on that one? Because it won't require a hearing since it's not chapter 400. If I'm right.
Yeah, just filtering it under, so if we put it under chapter 127, which is just boards and commissions, yeah, it doesn't require a public hearing before.
Well, save a little bit of effort. We can just fill in on the background when we bring the ordinance back.
You're going after my record, I see. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm coming for it.
Let's do it.
All right, the next item, 7A, a resolution appointing Ian Powers to the City of Willard Park Board.
Ian's been showing up at some park board meetings, and I think the Parks Board has been generally impressed with him, and Valerie and the board as a whole saw a vacancy come open with Craig, and they've requested he be appointed. He submitted paperwork. He would, as I understand it, fill out the unexpired term of Craig Bedd's position, right? I haven't got the dates of that from the clerk yet, so we may need to, I don't know if we can postpone that one,
No, we can do a motion to postpone until the next meeting.
because we'll need to include that in that,
Yeah.
wouldn't we? Yeah. So there's another one we can shut down. I think on there it says from March 9th, which would be incorrect.
So we'll need a motion to postpone.
Make a motion to postpone 7A.
Second.
So we got a first and a second. Alderman Hilliard?
Yes.
Alderman King?
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster?
Yes.
Alderman Matheson?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
On the subject of parks, I'd like to publicly thank Rachel, because she was, forced might be a strong word. She was persuaded to She was persuaded to take over a position on the Parks Board, and I know she's been spending a lot of time on top of her duties here with the Parks Board, in the not so easy situation all the time. So I just want to thank you for volunteering more of your time to the City of Willard, on top of the time you're already volunteering in your position as an older woman. Okay. All right, item 8B, since 8A has been removed, an ordinance authorizing the City of Willard, Missouri refunding and improvement certificates of participation series 2026 and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the certificates. This is for a first and second read.
And as a reminder, if you don't want to do two reads in one and you want to have a little bit of time to cogitate, you can postpone the second read.
Word. Let's go over to Steve. Agitate.
You're gonna read the bill, then I can comment on
Do I need to read the bill?
it? I want to talk to your attorney there.
Is it
It's a first read.
available out here?
Usually,
Well, if it's first read.
usually we just read the,
Yeah, if it's first read, but I think if you, do we have a copy available for public review at the time of the meeting?
yes.
Okay.
Usually we just read the heading and probably says
Yeah.
that will suffice.
Yes, you can read by title both times, but it just has to be, the ordinance has to be ready for public viewing.
Consumption.
Yeah, at the time of the, at the time that it's considered, the matter is considered, so if anybody wants to,
Tammy, you want to read out the title?
or you can read it by title.
An ordinance authorizing the City of Willard, Missouri of refunding and improvement certificates of participation series 2026 and authorizing the approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the certificates. First and second.
Just first reading.
So,
First reading.
Oh.
yeah, just first reading.
That's okay.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay. You have in your packet, ordinance 260309B. This has to do with the issuance of COPs to fund the Meadows Revitalization Trunk Sewer and our obligations under the federal grant, the 94 lift station upgrade and force main replacements. In addition to in your packet, you also had a supplemental piece called sources and uses of funds. That has been updated, and that was laying on your table when you came in here this evening. Tweaks the numbers a little bit, but gets everything in line. With that, I'd like to ask Sarah Granada, Gilmore and Bell, our bond counsel, to come and expound upon the ordinance and the issuance of COPs. Sarah?
Good evening, it's nice to be back before you all again. So as a reminder, this is a follow-up and an addition, that's why we call it refunding and improvement, to the financing that was approved with O'Bannon Bank back in November, or as we closed in November of 2025. That was at the time, and still currently the plan is that it's an interim kind of short-term financing. It only runs out for a year, and so part of the ordinance before you tonight and the overall financing package tonight will refund that balance as it is outstanding at the time that we end up issuing this debt. And then it will also have an improvement component, which is new money, and that is for the second project that's been described. So collectively, this will go to finance the 94 and the Meadows project. What the ordinance does specifically is it authorizes city staff, Steve, myself, financial advisor Piper Sandler, to go forward with the offering for sale of this financing. And I'll talk in a minute about how this financing is a little bit different than the direct lease that we did in November. But first of all, the approval is conditioned on the sale meeting certain parameters, is what we call it. And so that can be found in section 1 of the ordinance. I'll just refer to kind of the high level parts of it right now. The maximum principal amount of the debt cannot exceed $3.7 million. That is, as you'll see, higher than what we have in the sources and uses right now. Today's estimate is about 3.34, but it has premium, and I'm not going to get into the weeds on what that means. It's essentially investors play with the math a little. They up the interest rate, which generates more funds on the front end for you. It nets out to about the same kind of dollar amount there of 3.6 million as what we were originally showing on the older numbers. It just has to do with how the market is fluctuating. So again, we like to give ourselves a little bit of cushion there to make sure that you get the proceeds or the dollars in your bank account that you need for the project. That's kind of where we target that to be. But the 3.7 million is what would be referred to as the par amount. Again, it can fluctuate depending on if that bottom number of premium is there or not. Probably too much bond math for you all, to more than you needed, but just so you know why that number is a little bit higher. The certificates will not go out past 2046, so we're looking at a 20-year run of the certificates to pay off this debt. They cannot exceed a true interest cost of 5.25%. Basically, your interest rate cannot go above 5.25% under this authorization. And they have to be subject to prepayment. In other words, you could look at refinancing or just paying off the debt no later than 2036 is the parameters that we have here. So long as on the day that we go to the market, the sale price is within all of these parameters, then tonight, your action authorizes city staff, finance, myself, to go ahead and go forward with that sale and get it issued and money in the bank. That's what your authorization tonight does. A little bit more about the financing. So similar to the deal in November, this will be equipment only as the collateral. No real estate is involved in the collateral, which is pretty common on things where we're kind of going out over large areas, right? You don't necessarily want to encumber all of that real estate. So equipment only will be encumbered. So how does this financing differ from the direct placement that we did in November? This is called a certificates of participation. And because it's for a larger dollar amount, it's harder to get a single purchaser, a single bank to be interested in that financing over 20 years. So you get a better rate, interest rate as the city if you go out to the public open market. So what we will do is, Steve and I and the financing team has been working on what we call an offering document, preliminary official statement. It's just a legal document that explains the terms and a little information about the city. Goes out to the investors. They have some time. This is again like open market investing that anyone can get online and invest if they have a financial person that can get the logins and everything like that. And then we'll have a sale date. It will be competitive, so the best bidder will win as long as it's subject to your terms. And then we will go forward with closing. But that means that your debt will be owned by kind of a bunch of individual pieces and then collected together under what's called an underwriter that kind of serves as the intermediary. A little bit of background there, but basically it just means that you're kind of playing out in the big open market versus a direct placement is how this is different. So what are the next steps? As I mentioned, we've been working on this offering document. Currently, it's in a pretty good place, just a few more things to get finalized. The financial advisor, Piper Sandler, is sending that to the rating agency. I believe we're using S&P. And we will hold a call with them, get a rating for the city, an official investment rating for the city, which will be reported back to you all, because it's kind of always good to know where the city stands on that. And then after we get that rating back, we will distribute the offering document I mentioned, have a little bit of time on the market, usually about a week to 2 weeks, have a sale. And then we are currently looking at closing around April 15th. May adjust a little bit, just kind of depending on, first of all, the market. You want to make sure you're going to have the sale and the closing in a good market. And just kind of some factors with the Mo DNR and EPA type approvals for the outstanding loan. Just make sure we have all that nailed down before we close. But at that point, we'll be ready to get funds in the account. We will also, under this ordinance, it gives authorization, assuming all this happens and you get new funds, to refund that abandoned bank, essentially pay it off. So that will no longer be outstanding and you'll just have this one issuance. A lot of information at you, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on the financing side.
I just look at Joyce.
I feel like you explained that really well.
Thank you.
That's what I aim to do. Great, thanks.
Yep. So can we get a motion on the first read?
Make a motion. Second, we accept the ordinance. Approve the ordinance.
Second. Okay, I have first and the second. Alderman Hilliard?
Yes.
Alderman Keene?
Yes.
Alderman Matheson?
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster?
Yes.
And Alderman Wilson?
Yeah.
If you guys would like to have a second read tonight, we need a motion for it.
I'll make a motion for a second read.
Second. So the Tammy will read it again, and take a vote.
An ordinance authorizing the city of Willard, Missouri refunding and improvement certificates of participation, Series 2026, and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the certificates. Second.
I'll make a motion, we approve the ordinance as read.
Second. All right, I have a first and a second.
It's okay.
Alderman Hilliard?
Yes.
Alderman Keene?
Yes.
Alderman Lancaster?
Yes.
Alderman Matheson?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, city administrator remarks.
I wish we were just here a few days ago, so we don't have a lot.
Seems like it.
Glad to know. Did want to give you an update on the parks director. Some of the assistant director applicants did decide to throw their hat in. Been doing interviews for, seems like forever. I think we have two very strong candidates, one fairly strong candidate, so we should have a slate of 3 for March 19th. Still got, I want to say 5 or 6 left to do this week, so things could change. But I think we're doing very well. The plan is we'll have them have an informal meet and greet with the Parks Board on March 19th, about 30 minutes tops each, and then a little gap in the middle to allow for less awkward transitions out of the room as the next applicant comes in. And then Parks Board will give some feedback on the candidates, and then we'll make a final decision hopefully the next business day. So going quite well. We've had some pretty good folks in there. And then just a quick update on the audit. I know inquiring minds are curious. Once again, it seems like it's close. We've said that before, and then they have more questions. But it seems like they're close again. Hopefully this time they won't have more questions. I think from the complexion of the questions, we're not anticipating any nasty surprises. Just simple things that, you know, don't do it like that again, and here's some recommendations for what you should be doing in the future. So, looking quite good so far.
Good.
And that's it.
All right, thank you. I have discussion on here. Item number 10. Was that regarding anything in particular?
And it might just be an artifact from our meeting system.
All right, any new business? I know there's something we need to talk about. You know,
Not unless you want to.
Lovey and let's just talk. We talk about it. Yeah, all right, no new business, any unfinished business? All right.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I have a first and a second. Alderman Miller? Yes. Alderman Key? Alderman Lancaster?
Yes.
Alderman Anderson?
Yes.
Alderman Lester?
Yes.
That's